everyone, welcome to Humanistic Sticky. For my very first video, I want to share an idea that completely changed the way I look at my own mind. It's simple, but once you see it, you'll never think about overthinking the same way again. Tonight, you will lie in bed and replay something someone said to you today. A tone, a comment, a look. You will turn it over and over, searching for a version of the day where you said something different. You cannot change it. It already happened, and yet your brain will not stop working on it anyway. The strange part? None of the worrying helps. Not even a little. Your brain is trying to solve a problem that no longer exists. This is not a flaw in your personality, it is part of being human. And almost 2,000 years ago, one man sat alone at night and wrote down the exact same problem, in the exact same words you might use today. His name was Marcus Aurelius. He ruled the most powerful empire on earth. Millions depended on his decisions. Yet every night, after leading armies and governing an empire, he fought a battle no one else could see, his own mind. He worried. He overthought. He struggled to let go of things he couldn't control. So he wrote reminders to himself, not for the world, but for his own survival. Those private notes would later become one of history's most influential books, Meditations. So why do a Roman emperor's private notes still resonate with a modern mind? The answer lies in a bug your brain has carried for thousands of years. It does not naturally sort the world into two piles, things you control and things you do not. Instead, it treats everything as if it might be yours to fix. The weather, traffic, a stranger's opinion of you, your career 5 years from now. All of it gets pulled into the same worry loop, whether or not you have any power over it at all. This isn't just an old Stoic idea. Decades later, psychologists discovered the same pattern. People who focused on what they could actually influence handled stress far better than those who constantly worried about things outside their control. They eventually gave this tendency a name, locus of control. Here's where your brain becomes even stranger. Imagine you're handed a lottery ticket. Someone else gets to choose theirs. Later, both of you are offered money to give the tickets back. Surprisingly, the person who chose their own ticket almost always asks for more money, even though both tickets have exactly the same chance of winning. Nothing about the odds changed. Only the feeling of control did. This famous experiment, conducted by psychologist Ellen Langer, revealed something surprising about the human mind. We often believe we have influence over outcomes that are completely random. She called this the illusion of control. This is the illusion of control, and it runs your life more than you realize. You feel responsible for outcomes you never actually touched. A client's mood, a stranger's judgment, the economy. Your brain quietly assigns you ownership of things you never signed up to own. But the illusion doesn't stop with lottery tickets, it follows you into ordinary moments. You wake up late because of heavy rain. Traffic refuses to move. Your boss sends a message. See me. Instantly, your mind takes over. Did I do something wrong? Is he disappointed in me? Am I about to lose my job? Hours later, you finally walk into his office. He smiles. Can you send me yesterday's report? That was it. The disaster existed only inside your head. Your mind spent hours trying to control a future that hadn't even happened. Marcus Aurelius noticed his own version of this bug. People around him lied, judged, and acted with cruelty, and it used to wreck his mood. So he wrote himself a correction. People act badly, he reasoned, because they cannot tell good from evil. That is their failure, not his. Their behavior belonged to them. His reaction belonged to him. And no one, he decided, could actually hurt him unless he let their actions live inside his own head, rent-free. That single shift, taking ownership of your reaction instead of the event, is the foundation of Stoic philosophy. What's remarkable is that nearly 2,000 years later, modern psychology arrived at the very same conclusion. Therapists discovered that it isn't the event itself that causes suffering. It's the meaning we attach to it. Psychologist Albert Ellis turned this insight into a therapy called rational emotive behavior therapy, which later became one of the foundations of modern cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. In other words, an idea written by Marcus Aurelius in a private journal, eventually became a method therapists still use to help people overcome anxiety, anger, and negative thinking today. So what actually falls inside the small circle of things you control? Strip away everything else, and it comes down to 4 things: your desires, your attitude, your judgments, your determination. That is close to the whole list. Everything else, other people's opinions, outcomes, timing, luck, sits outside it. This does not mean you stop trying. It means you stop confusing effort with outcome. You prepare for the interview, but you cannot control who else walks through that door. You send the email, but you cannot control the reply. You love someone, but you cannot control how they feel tomorrow. Your responsibility ends with your effort. Everything after that belongs to the world. Make the mistake, correct it, watch something break, fix it. That is the entire job. Not perfection, response. There is a second trap hiding underneath the first one: worrying about what other people think of you. This one is almost invisible because it feels like care, or humility, or being considerate. But it is the same bug wearing a disguise. You cannot control someone else's judgment any more than you can control the weather. Chasing their approval is chasing something that was never yours to hold. None of this changes overnight, and that's where most people give up. They wait for a dramatic breakthrough, a burst of motivation, the perfect Monday. But real change almost never arrives that way. Modern habit research confirmed what Marcus Aurelius had already discovered centuries earlier. Researcher Philippa Lally found that lasting habits aren't built in 21 days, as the popular myth suggests. On average, they take over 2 months to become automatic, and sometimes much longer. The people who succeeded weren't the most motivated. They were simply the most consistent. Small actions, repeated, again and again, until they became part of who they were. That is the quiet, unglamorous engine behind everything Marcus Aurelius wrote about at night, and everything modern psychology has since confirmed in laboratories and clinics. Not a single leap. A tiny percentage of progress, compounded daily, aimed only at what you actually hold in your hands. So tonight, when you lie in bed replaying that comment, that mistake, that moment you cannot rewind, notice what you are actually doing. You are handing your attention to something that was never yours to control, and somewhere, in a version of you that already exists inside an old Roman's journal, someone already worked out the way back. Not by fixing the world, just by fixing where he chose to look. Tomorrow, the weather won't obey you, neither will traffic, neither will other people. But maybe, for the first time, your own mind will. If this video changed the way you think about control, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you enjoy deep ideas explained through simple animations, subscribe to Humanistic Sticky. Because this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next one.